Assalamu alaikum viewers, welcome back to my channel English with Ayesha. In today's video I am going to tell you about the subskills of listening skills. Subskills are the skills that makes up part of a longer or larger skill, and in today's video I am going to explain the skills that make up part of a longer skill, that is listening skill. A good listening allows us to demonstrate that we are paying attention to the thoughts, feelings, and behaviors of the other person. There are many subskills of listening skill, but in this video I will tell you about some of them which are the main subskills of listening skill. The first one is listening for gist. It is an extensive listening for skimming. This happens when we listen to get a general idea about a topic. Listening for gist is when the learner tries to understand what is happening even if he or she can't understand every phrase or sentence. The learner is trying to pick up every word, intonation, and other clues so as to make a guess at the meaning. So listening for gist is about main idea. Before any discussion is developed, the students have to grasp the overall communicative intention of the speaker. Examples of gist questions are: what problems are they discussing? What does the speaker think of the topic? Who are the speakers talking about? The example of listening for gist is listening to a summary of the day's news on the radio. The next type of listening subskill is listening for specific information. This is when we listen to something because we want to discover one particular piece of information. Specific information is often factual in nature. For example, a name, a place, a profession, an object, a number, or a quantity. When you listen for specific information, you need to have some idea of what you are listening for before you listen and while you are listening. Listening for specific information, there are situations in real life where we listen only for some specific details and ignore the rest of the entire message, such as weather forecast, announcements in trains, stations, airports, and so on. It is important to expose our students to a variety of types of listening texts for a variety of purposes so that they will develop a variety of listening strategies to use for different situations. Listening for specific information only need to understand specific or limited parts. The example of listening for specific information is listening to weather report to discover the weather in your city. The next type is listening in details. Listening in detail is intensive listening for scanning. This is happen when we listen very closely, paying attention and to all the words and trying to understand as much information as possible. Listening for detail, the purpose is to train students to grasp specific information, details that are relevant, important, or necessary. The goal is to help students obtain the detailed information they may need, like hours, dates, names, and so on. Listening for detail refers to the type of listening we do in which we can't afford to ignore anything because we don't know exactly what information of the listening passage will be necessary to complete the task. This term is sometimes confused with listening for specific, which is applied to occasions in which we don't have to understand everything that's being said, but only a very specific part. Listening for detail for exact information that will help achieve a task. The example of listening in detail is a member of a jury listening to a statement from a witness. There are some other listening subskills that I want to mention here. The first one is recognizing phonological features of speech. Phonology is the branch of linguistics that deals with system of sounds within a language or between different languages. And phonological features are mental aspects of sounds in the language. While listening, the language in which we are listening should be recognized by the phonological features. The next subtype is understand relationship between the text and utterance. In spoken language, an utterance is the smallest unit of speech. In spoken language, utterances have several characteristics such as paralinguistic features, which are aspects of speech such as facial expressions, gestures, and postures. Prosodic features include stress, intonation, and tone of voice, as well as ellipses, which are words that the listener inserts in spoken language to fill gaps. Moreover, other aspects of utterance found in spoken language are non-fluency features including voiced or unvoiced pauses like tag questions and false starts, or when someone begins uttering again to correct themselves. Other features include fillers, accent, dialect, and so on. So, understanding the relationship between text and utterance is very beneficial for effective listening. Another subskill of listening skill is understand relationship between syntactic and morphological characteristics of spoken language. Syntactic is relating to the rules of language, and morphology means the study of words. They are two different parts of grammar focusing on different scales of the structure of language. The relationship is that between two parts of a greater whole. So it is an important subskill of listening to understand the relationship between syntactic and morphological characteristics of spoken language. The next subskill is identify important information in discourse. Identifying important information in discourse is also an important subskill of listening. In linguistics, discourse refers to a unit of language longer than a single sentence. Discourse therefore translates to run away and refer to the way that conversations flow. To study discourse is to analyze the use of spoken or written language in a social context. So it's important to identify information in discourse of the listening language. This is all about today's video. Hope you guys like the video. If you like the video, give a big thumbs up, share with English language seekers, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and comment below what you want in the next video. Allah Hafiz.